Dustin Poirier's fighting for the BMF title. So, what, man? What is wrong with you?
I don't want to be me this belt for the bums, you know. The people who never can be champion, you know. They give him some belt.
If I can get my hand raised again, retire with the BMF belt, I'm in the BMF forever. Me and Max Holloway are going to fight 5 rounds main event pay-per-view for his current BMF title. I just think it's time after 18 years, 19 years in this sport, fighting tooth and nail, bleeding every week. It's a good decision. I think it's a responsible decision and a respect to the sport.
Islam Makhachev recently took a jab at Dustin Poirier, mocking his decision to compete for the BMF title by suggesting it's meant for fighters who can't become true champions. Despite the criticism, Poirier has officially announced that his retirement bout will be against Max Holloway, with the BMF belt on the line. The highly anticipated showdown is set for July 19th in Poirier's hometown of New Orleans, marking the final chapter in an extraordinary UFC career.
July 19th is going to be my final fight. I'm going to lay the gloves down in Louisiana, where it all started for me. The whole journey started there.
Islam Makhachev took a shot at Dustin Poirier's upcoming fight for the BMF title, mocking the belt as something meant for fighters who could win a real championship. He went as far as to say that even if he were offered the BMF title tomorrow, he'd turn it down, calling it a belt for bums. His remarks have reignited the ongoing debate about the legitimacy and value of the BMF title within the UFC.
What do you think of fighting for the BMF title? Again, you had your opportunity in Utah, didn't go your way, another chance. Does this belt hold any significance to you?
Of course it does. There hasn't been many guys, and like I said, heading into the Gaethje fight for the BMF, even to get mentioned or have your name in the hat to be pulled for a BMF fight, you got to be a fan favorite. You got to bring it every time. You have to be in that criteria of fighters cut from that cloth, that never say die cloth, and Max is that, I am that. So it's amazing. If I can get my hand raised again, retire with the BMF belt, I'm in the BMF forever.
However, Dustin Poirier sees the BMF title as something deeply meaningful. He highlighted that only a select few fighters ever get the chance to compete for it, and being chosen reflects more than just skill. It signifies being a fan favorite and a relentless warrior who always brings heart and intensity to the octagon. Poirier expresses excitement at the chance to retire with the BMF belt, stating that if he wins, he'll carry the title of BMF forever.
You'll retire with the BMF belt. Should the BMF belt retire with you think?
I mean, if I'm the last, if I can get my hand raised, be the last BMF champion, and ride off into the sunset with the belt and retire, hey, that's forever. That's forever, because I don't think they would ever do it again unless something crazy happened, right? But that would be dope.
Dustin Poirier spoke about the possibility of retiring as the final BMF champion at UFC 318, suggesting that if he wins and walks away with the belt, it could become a forever title. He believes the UFC is unlikely to bring the BMF belt back unless something truly exceptional happens, which makes the opportunity to retire as his last holder all the more meaningful to him.
Dustin, I think he's already in Hall of Fame, and he showed all MMA fans how many great fights. He's one of the big stars in our sport, and he's a legend. And person, it's very good man. And I just wish him the best, and I know he can still fighting, and he gonna beat a lot of people.
Despite his dislike for the BMF belt, Islam Makhachev holds a great deal of respect for Dustin Poirier. He spoke highly of Poirier, calling him a future Hall of Famer and commending him for delivering memorable fights and becoming one of the biggest stars in MMA. Islam described Poirier as both a legend and a genuinely good person, wishing him the best and acknowledging that he still has the skill to beat many top fighters.
It's been a long wait to get this announcement. We've got many teases. How happy are you that the world finally knows and that the retirement fight is set in stone?
I'm super excited, man. This has been a long time in the works, getting Louisiana on board, get the UFC to even think about coming back to Louisiana. But it's happening. Super excited. There's nobody else I'd rather be standing across from when I lay the gloves down or when I go into my final fight. Max is a legend. I got so much respect for the guy. He's done it all right. And that was his first fight in the UFC, and he's going to be my last.
Dustin Poirier also shared his excitement for his upcoming retirement fight, officially scheduled for July 19th in New Orleans against Max Holloway for the BMF title. He expressed how meaningful it is to have his final bout take place in Louisiana, and said he couldn't think of a better opponent than Holloway, a fellow legend and the first fighter he ever faced in the UFC, to share the octagon within his farewell fight.
It's not Dustin Poirier's last fight, but I think if you can be his last fight and get one back, it would be sad, but at the same time, you know, a win for you.
Hey, that'd be nice. The Diamond, sign me up, bro. I love that guy. I got nothing but respect for the guy, but he is up 2-0 against my and I don't have the best lucks against people who's 2-0 against me, so I guess I gotta try it again.
Max Holloway previously mentioned that if Dustin Poirier ends up being his final opponent and he's able to get a win back, it would be a major accomplishment. Despite their competitive history, Holloway expressed deep respect for Poirier, referring to him as a diamond and saying he genuinely loves the guy. He acknowledged Poirier's past success against him, but made it clear he's eager for another shot, even if their previous matchups haven't gone his way.
I guess you are starting to think it's coming, the final fight. Like, are you getting, does it get you emotional being here, like knowing these are maybe the final times you're doing this kind of stuff?
I'm not emotional yet. I'm sure as time goes, there's going to be waves of different feelings. Right now, I'm feeling confident and okay with my decision for it to be my last fight. Like I've said, dude, I can still do this at the top level for a few more years. I know there's no doubt in my mind, but it's just like, what am I fighting for? Is it for a paycheck? I don't want to disrespect the sport. I've always fought to be the world champion, so if it's not for a title, then it's time to go away. You know, I was always chasing the title.
Meanwhile, Dustin Poirier opened up about the emotional aspect of preparing for his final fight. While he hasn't felt overwhelmed yet, he admitted that as the date draws closer, he expects a wave of emotions to hit. Poirier expressed confidence in his decision to retire, saying that although he still has what it takes to compete at the highest level, he no longer wants a fight unless it's for a championship. He emphasized that chasing the title has always been his driving force, and if that goal is no longer in sight, then it's time to step away from the sport.
And I've been doing it for a long time. My family's good, I'm good. I want to get out here with my faculties, be able to speak and work the desk, be healthy for my daughter and my future kids, you know, so I just think it's time after 18 years, 19 years in this sport, fighting tooth and nail, bleeding every week. It's a good decision. I think it's a responsible decision and a respect to the sport.
Dustin Poirier reflected on his long journey in MMA, saying that after 18 or 19 years in the sport, the time has come to step away. He emphasized that his family is doing well, and he wants to retire while still healthy, able to speak clearly, work at the analyst's desk, and be present for his daughter and any future children. Poirier described his decision to retire as both responsible and respectful to the sport, acknowledging the physical and mental toll that fighting has taken on him over the years.
Ultimately, you couldn't have dreamed a better scenario though, right? Like, this is where you want to do it despite all that stuff that might come with it.
Yeah, this is the dream. This is the plan. I'm the one who reached out to the UFC and said, hey, I would love to retire at home. And to my surprise, they obliged and said, okay, we'll do everything we can to make it happen. You know, it's amazing when a company works with you like that and has respect for you enough to try to put things in motion, because so many things in their schedule is booked up for the whole year, you know, previously. Like, people don't understand how much goes on behind the scenes. These dates and locations are pre-planned for a long time. For them to scrap something and bring the cage to Louisiana and set it up for me to retire at home, dude, it's a dream come true.